to face the fear. Mr. Cemetery's Terror Tales begins now.
Welcome, my frightful fiends. I've seen you crept back for another tale of terror. Another story to twist your nerves into knots. Well, you're just in time. Because tonight's little nightmare is all about an unfortunate gift. Imagine, if you will, a simple puppet. A lifeless wooden doll, carved with care and given with love. But some gifts come with strings attached. And once you let them in, they may never let you go. So sit back, squirm in your seats, and prepare for a tale that will have you questioning every shadow in the room. And I call this one Tangled in Terror Part 1. Enjoy.
I never wanted a puppet, and that was a gift from my Uncle Ray, who had a habit of bringing me weird junk from his travels. One year, there was a taxidermy bat. Another time, a shrunken head, faked, I hoped. This time, there was a puppet.
That was hand-carved by an old puppeteer in Romania,
he said proudly, setting it down on my desk.
one of a kind.
I didn't care. It creeped me out the second I saw it. The puppet was small, maybe 2 feet tall, dressed in a faded red jacket with gold buttons. Its wooden face was too detailed. Deep lines around its mouth, sunken cheeks, hollowed out eyes painted with gloss black. The worst part? Its hands. The fingers were long, jointed, too realistic. Not like the stiff, blocky hands of a normal puppet. These could curl, flex, almost grab. I don't want it, I told my Uncle Ray. He just laughed and propped it up on the shelf.
Give it a chance, kid. You never know. It might grow on you.
I doubt that. That night, I put the puppet in my closet, facing the back wall. I piled some hoodies on top of it, just to be sure. But as I lay in bed, staring at my ceiling, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. You ever have that sensation like someone's watching you? That tight feeling in the back of your neck, like a presence in the room. And I felt it then, a prickling uneasy that made my skin crawl. And I told myself I was being stupid. It was just a puppet, a hunk of wood. Then I heard it. And I held my breath and listened. Another sound, a faint, dry scraping, wood against wood. The closet. I sat up, my pulse hammering. The door was open an inch. Had I left it open like that? No, and I shut it. Swallowing hard, I slid off my bed and crossed the room. My fingers hovered against the closet handle, and I yanked the door open. The pile of hoodies was on the floor. The puppet sat upright, his head tilted slightly, as if he'd just been looking at something else before I caught it. I didn't scream. Oh, I wanted to, but I didn't. Instead, I grabbed the thing and I shoved it under my bed. Out of sight, out of mind. I barely slept. The next morning I told my mom the puppet was ugly and I wanted to get rid of it. She frowned.
Uncle Ray just gave it to you. At least keep it for a while.
I didn't argue. She wouldn't believe me anyway. At school, I couldn't focus. I kept thinking about the puppet, about the way it sat up in my closet. head cocked like it had been listening, like it had been thinking. And I told my best friend Mike about it at lunch.
Dude, it's a puppet,
he said between the bites of his sandwich.
It's not alive.
And I know, but
nothing. You're psyching yourself out. You want to get rid of it? Burn it.
I laughed, but a small part of me wondered if that was the right move. That night, I went to bed early, exhausted. I made sure to check under my bed before lying down. The puppet was still there, exactly where I'd left it. I let out a shaky breath. Maybe Mike was right. Maybe I was just being paranoid. And then, sometime after midnight, I woke up again. I turned over, staring at the space beneath my bed. My stomach twisted, and I didn't want to check, but I had to. I reached for my phone, I turned on the flashlight, and angled it downward. And the puppet wasn't there. The closet door was open, and I swallowed, my throat dry as sandpaper. Maybe I'd kicked it in my sleep. Maybe I'd put it somewhere else and forgotten it. Yeah, that's it. But then, a sound. Not movement, not footsteps. Coming from the closet. I clenched my fists, forcing myself to move. My legs felt stiff as I swung them over the side of the bed. I took one step, then another. I reached out, my fingers brushing against the closet door. It was open, just enough for me to slip my hand inside. I fumbled for the light switch. Nothing. The closet was empty, just my clothes, a pile of shoes, and a couple old backpacks. No puppet. A shiver ran down my spine. I could still feel it, that presence, that weight of unseeing eyes. I turned, and my breath got caught in my throat. The puppet was on my desk, sitting upright. Facing me, its hands, those thin wooden fingers, rested slightly on the surface, as if it just pulled itself up. My stomach twisted. I locked it under my bed. I knew I had. Then, just as I started to back away, I saw something worse. Something impossible. Its mouth. It had been carved in a slightly frown, barely parted. Just a solid piece of painted wood. But now, as I stared, I saw a crack forming at the corners, a splintering line running down his chin. The mouth was opening, and then it spoke. A whisper, hoarse, ancient. Let me in. Well, my petrified playthings. It looks like our dear friend survived the night. For now. But something tells me that wicked little fiend isn't done pulling the strings just yet. And if you want to know what happens next, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss part 2. Trust me, you'll want to keep your eyes wide open for this one. And don't keep all the terror to yourself. Like this video and share it with your fiends. And after all, horror is best enjoyed with company. Just make sure they're not watching you when you're not looking. Oh, and if you want to show off your love for all things creepy, check out our merch store. Because nothing says style like a wardrobe that screams. Until next time, remember, when a puppet moves on its own, you're not the one in control anymore.